could take 20 years to change that impression. We all tend to quickly take a look, examine our feelings, and come up with an evaluation. Judging and showing partiality are major problems with all people, and especially with believers. Living in God's kingdom requires that believers make some major adjustments in the way they treat others. Too often, we give into the worldly pressures and value people according to wealth and rank. Churches forsake poor neighborhoods, shun people from unsavory backgrounds, and refuse to condemn sins of greed and injustice. This is why James had to give the instructions found in this lesson. This was going on in that day and time. So James is giving this lesson to the people because they had started to be taken away from the true worship of God. And God is love. And that's what we're going to talk about. If there is love, if you love somebody unconditionally, you don't care if they come in wearing a three-piece suit or if they come in with tennis shoes and cut-off shorts. Because God looks at us all the same. And that's the reverse. That's that inside-outside, I want to call it. God looks at this heart thing. Man looks at this outside, what we're wearing, what we have the ability to do for them, like in this story. What can you do for me? Agape love. That, we love no matter what. I could see somebody on the side of the road and I just have mercy on them, we have to be humanly safe. We know that, because people are out to do harm to you, but we talked about that before too, but if you use the discernment of God and the Holy Spirit, you're going to be okay. So we show favoritism, and that in the Greek word, favoritism is to receive acceptance of a person when one recognizes who they are. So we know sometimes we have people in our world, you know these mega stars and these people, and if you saw people running after them, trying to get their autograph, and they're known sometimes by one name, or initial, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, those type people, Jay-Z, Beyonce, those type people have national world acclaim. If they walked into the room today, will we treat them any different than someone who walked in, as I said earlier, with cut-off shorts and a t-shirt and tennis shoes? They came into our sanctuary today. Will we open our arms the same to these mega worldly stars versus someone who we don't know anybody's heart? Only God knows the inside of a person. And all we can see, now we also know we see action, we see what people do, and we can, if you want to, and that term is judge, but judging to me is when you apply some type of action toward that person or have an attitude toward that person. If I looked at Pastor Shore right now, I'm going to size him up. If I see him and I'm saying, oh, he's wearing this gray suit today and he's wearing this and that, because that's just, I think as humans, we just see with our eyes and we just notice stuff. But God takes us to that next level, Pastor, as we talked about before. He wants us to go beyond. And when I see him, I should see a child of God. And that's all I should see. But we're human, and we're not all there. And we're on that journey to get to